Hey, what's up, guys? This is your man Romeo Duncombe-Clarke coming to you from Dunphotostudios, based out of Tampa, Florida. And today's conversation really evolves around critiquing one's previous work. When I say critiquing one's previous work, basically going back into folders of projects that you've done and analyzing what you could have done better and what you may have done wrong, and to see how you can take the information that you're able to gather from just the observation of, well, I should not have put that light there, or I should not have allowed my subject to pose this way because of the body type, or the myriad of things that would come about. So this is about that. And I think that we as creative, we really need to be, I should say, we should always be looking to improve upon our craft, and not to settle for, because we had a successful shoot, that's the pinnacle. I think that as a creative, as long as you're in it, the objective is to aspire for greatness, aspire for the upper echelons of your field. I'm nowhere near there because my covers have not graced the magazines that I have in mind that I would like to see my work upon. So every shoot, be it a good, bad, or indifferent, I'm looking to figure out what it is that I did wrong, so that the next time I'm able to capitalize upon the things that I missed, so that I can implement those things. And even once I've implemented those things, a few days later, I will still go back into that session file and observe the things that I implemented and see where I may have missed. Because I think that's the only way you can get better, or we can get better as creatives. I think also that you can't get caught up on this notion that you've learned it all, or because you've shot a particular thing a million times that you have it all worked out. Because that's just basically like you're above critiquing yourself. And it also would help when someone else comes along and critiques your work. You're not so devastated that somebody gave you well, I don't like this, that, and the third, and then you say, you know what, I didn't like this, that, and the third too, so I know what to do for next time. So I did a photo session yesterday. I would say it was a pretty good. Actually, the energy was pretty dope. I had a few mishaps as far as gears. I had a particular lighting setup that I was really feeling, and because of so much going on set, it wasn't until after the fact and all the smoke had cleared and my subject had gone home and whatnot, and I was able to sit down and go through the images, that I realized that because I had an overhead light, and instead of having my light more so bounce directly off the floor at a tilted angle so that it would produce a bounce back, so that I'm able to illuminate my subject in a much more flattering and softer way. I look at the images and I'm like, if I had only just tilted the head slightly towards camera angle, it would have been a much more pleasing lighting effect for myself personally. My subject, she's quite fine with it, and at this point, you're pleasing the customer. She's a paying individual, so she's happy with it. But as far as me as a creative, I'm like, dang, I don't like that. You know what I mean? I don't like what I just did. I don't like what I just did in terms of just not being able to see that before I concluded the session. So things like this is why I'm saying, hey, go back into your old files, go back into your old sessions, and just go through them and just observe them. Look at them, just look at them Just observe and see what comes to you, what stands out. What stands out as as just being, what, I could have done that better. And I think that though, just that high, just having that eye, the discipline to go in and be willing to be critiqued, willing to critique yourself, and not settle for this notion that you've made it and you have it all down packed. I think that'll help out your creative process in the long run, in the short run. I'm in the marathon, so I'm looking for the long run. So, and I think that's the best advice I can give to any creative out there, regardless of whatever field you're in. I don't think this just applies to photography. I think this applies to in anything you do. Like back in the day when I did a lot of acting, the thing that you would do, what I would do is that, okay, as you get better, the more you do, the better you get. The more you do, the better you get. Lines come, the more lines you read, the more lines you rehearse, whatever they come, the easier it is to go into an audition and, guys, well, I don't like you for this role, I need you to go read this. And I'm like, well, how many minutes do you need? And you'd be like, well, give me 5 minutes. And you get 5 minutes, you go outside, bang. You get back to the door, bang. And it's just like, because you've been working those muscles and they fire and they know, like, this is crunch time, this is what we got to do, and here's how we're going to do it. So you absorb that information, you grab it, you figure out how to establish a quick outline of a character to walk into the room. So I don't think it's no different than with being a photographer, where you keep working, you keep figuring out different lighting combinations, things that work for you aesthetically, and you say, okay, you know what, if I'm in this situation, I'm going to throw this out here. Okay, what if my lights fail? Well, then what I'm going to do is this situation. You have an antidote for everything. For the most part, you can't cover all the bases, but you have an antidote that'll work, and you use it for what you can use it for. So, as photographers, it's good to go back and have a visual blueprint of where you went wrong, so you can adjust it. So for the next time that you're in that situation, you know that, oh, make sure that light is tilted forward slightly, more so than back, because we want the forward so that the bounce is much more softer on the subject, and that's just a personal preference. Some people may prefer it to be the opposite way, but for me, I would find it to be more pleasing from the latter. Yeah, but as far as creativity goes, man, creativity is something that it's constantly, we have to constantly work upon, because there's a young kid that's coming up he's coming in with his new world vision of things, and he's gonna kill it, So what I gotta do is be sharp on minds, and I gotta constantly be on top of it, because I'm looking to be the best at what I do. So if I want to be the best at what I do, I have to be my most vocal critic. I have to be the one that's picking me the most, the one that's picking me apart the most. But picking me apart not in a negative way, but in a constructive way of building me up, and not, that sucks. No, it can be better, but I like what it's at for this point, because at this point it may just be the best thing that I'm able to produce. You know what I mean? And tomorrow or the day after, when I get back at it and I do something similar, I'll be like, well, my level's going up, because I'm constantly looking to elevate. You know what I mean? Okay. Anyway, I think that's enough ranting for this moment. Anyhow, my name is Romeo Duncombe-Clarke, and I am the photographer out of Dunphotostudios, based out of Tampa, Florida. And feel free to leave your comment. You can find me on social media, Instagram and Twitter. Once again, learn to critique yourself, man. Don't be afraid to go back into those old sessions and see where you went wrong, and see how you would approach it next time around. I think that's the only way we're going to get better as creatives. I think that's the only way we can elevate our standard. And yeah, Romeo Duncombe-Clarke, DunphotoStudios, and I'm out. Peace.